Alright guys, today we're going to talk about dégagés. So we've done pliés, tendus, next is typically dégagés. You might also know them as battement jetés. Okay, so dégagé means to disengage. So remember how in tendu we talked about how your foot should not disengage from the floor. Now in dégagé, you can. So actually what is disengaging here is your foot from the floor. It has a little bit of a quicker, brisker feel to it, energetically, and it's also kind of like a throw. So jeté, the word jeté means to throw. So you're kind of throwing your foot out and bringing it back in, right? And you're brushing the floor. So I talked about this in my more in-depth tendu video, but this part of your foot, this demi-point part of your foot, where the toes meet the ball of your foot, that is what is brushing in your dégagé. So if you were to do it in slow motion, you're coming out, and then it's this push of the toes out that brings the foot off the floor, and then it reconnects and comes down. So you're really going here, and then push, toes, floor. So it's really a brushing motion, and you still have that circular energy. So you're tossing it out and bringing it back in, tossing it out and bringing it back in, tossing it out and bringing it back in. Like that. Dégagés also can have an accent out or an accent in. So you can take it out and hold, and first, and hold, and first, and hold, and first, and hold, and first. And whenever we do this with the accent out, I always tell my students to pretend like somebody's taking a picture. Now, nowadays, we have burst shots, so people could take a picture. But a long time ago, you'd have to hold it for a second for somebody to be able to get a picture. So you have to hold it out there long enough for someone to get a picture. Now you can also have the accent in, and that's really going to work on your inner thigh muscles, squeezing it back in. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Something else that I wanted to talk about are piqués, because a lot of times you'll see dégagés and piqués together. So piqué means pricked, and when you're teaching this to younger kids, you tell them that it's like they prick their finger on the spinning wheel, like in Sleeping Beauty, right? So you have to pretend that the spinning wheel's on the ground, and your toe comes up. It's coming up, 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 close. So you have to think about your whole leg, one piece coming up. You want to create the longest line possible without moving your hip girdle, right? So you want to feel like if you could take your hip socket, and it's really sturdy, it's not moving anywhere, and you want to feel like you could take your leg and pull it out of your hip socket to make the longest line possible. So you're trying to create space between that femur head and your hip socket. So you're brushing out and in, out and in, out and in, and out and in. And the same thing when you have the piqués, you already have the longest line possible, and you're lifting it out, lifting it out, lifting it out. Every time that you lift it up, you're trying to grow a little bit longer in that leg. Now, your hip shouldn't move at all, right? Your hips are staying very, very stable. So it's not like you pull your leg so long that you come off of your hip. Your hips are glued in place, and your leg extends out of your hip. So you want to make sure through all of your bar work, tendus, dégagés, everything, right now we're talking about dégagés, you want to make sure that you're always growing up on the supporting side. Sometimes we can have a tendency to think so much about our working side that our supporting side starts to collapse, or we sink down in it. You want to feel like you're always growing taller out of this supporting side. Let's do a short combination. We're going to go dégagé first, dégagé first, dégagé, piqué, piqué first. And we'll do that front, side, back, side. So you have side and first, and side and first, side, piqué, piqué, squeeze, 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 and back and first, and back, piqué, piqué, squeeze, 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 side first. Rush the floor, up, 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 squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then we'll finish.